Good morning and welcome to We Are Soccer, the show that talks about pro soccer, youth soccer, and everything in between. I'm your host, Craig Hearn. All right, this week's been a crazy week. We got lots to get to. We've had the European Super League that started on Sunday night and then died 3 days later. The special one was sacked and is now collecting unemployment again. Daryl Dike strikes for Barnsley in the English Championship League. Detroit City have fired themselves right into the final on Sunday afternoon with a 1-0 win this past weekend. And today I've also got an interview with a Leeds superfan and someone who knows a lot about how the ESL went down and give us a reaction of those the English fans over there in England. Also, this past week we had Schalke FC, who was relegated, and then the fans attacked the players. We'll also today have a call-in from the delusional Man United fan. Another call from our Bundesliga expert to talk about the games coming up this weekend and some news that's hitting the Bundesliga this week. Ed Woodward steps down at Man United. And also, we'll chat about Haley Craig from the Michigan Jags, who's been invited to the U19 Women's National Team virtual camp this past week. That's pretty big, guys. Big news there. So, like I said, lots of stuff to jump into. Why don't we start with the big story, the European Super League that started last Sunday night. When this news broke, it was Sunday afternoon here. The news was released over in Spain at 12:15 a.m. Late Sunday night, early Monday morning. Very strange timing for this news to get, this news to hit the wire. Obviously under the cover of darkness, done on purpose. I'll say when the news was released, I was getting phone calls, messages, text messages. I'm pretty sure I saw a carrier pigeon fly over my house, drop something. My phone blew up. This was major news. If you guys aren't super soccer or European soccer fans, this is probably the biggest news to hit in the last 10, 20 some odd years, right? All of a sudden, these 12 teams decided they were going to form their own Super League and break away from everything else. They were going to break away from the Champions League. They're going to form their own closed league. 12 teams signed contracts to be in their own league. I want you guys to kind of sit on that for a second. 6 English teams, 3 Italian teams, and 3 Spanish teams. All right, I'll read off the names of the teams, and we'll kind of dive in a little deeper into some of the facts and details that we know. Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, Man City, Man United, and Liverpool were the 6 English Premier League teams. Juventus, AC Milan, and Inter Milan were the Italian Serie A teams. Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid were the Spanish La Liga teams. Now, all these teams play in the Champions League, normally. They are some of the biggest clubs in the world. Their reasoning for breaking away from the Champions League and forming their own Super League, closed league, was to save football. They wanted to save the sport that we love. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't need saving. It's in a pretty good spot. The real reason these clubs broke away and formed their own league with no promotion and no relegation, meaning these 12 teams could never be relegated out of this closed league, is money. They wanted money. They're all heavily in debt. Barcelona and Real Madrid are $1 billion in debt. They wanted money. And JP Morgan Chase was the company who was funding this Super League, was due to give each one of these teams over $300 million a year for being in this closed Super League. Fun. Must be nice. Did you know that Barcelona and Real Madrid were going to get that $300 million with the other teams and an extra $60 million themselves? Those two teams were going to be getting an extra $60 million on top of the 300. So not only did we have a closed Super League, we had super duper teams. Those two teams thought they were super duper and would get extra money. Why? Because they were the ones, I'm guessing, who set this up and really were driving it forward. Real Madrid president Florentino Perez has come out and said that the Super League right now is on pause because of the nine teams who've backed out. It's on pause. Dude, this isn't happening. Trust me, if you bring this up again, I'm pretty sure someone's going to find you and hang you by your toes. This isn't a good idea. You're not saving football. You're killing football with this idea, right? You're killing the sport we love. Every time he opens his mouth, something dumb comes out. And you think to yourself, there's no way next time he opens his mouth, he could say anything dumber than what he just said. And then he does it. It's great. It's something that just keeps getting better every time he opens his mouth. Specifically in England, the government was going to get involved. They saw that with these 6 English Premier League teams being the 6 bigger teams, they were going to disrupt the English Premiership along with the lower tiered leagues and clubs. The money wouldn't filter down, and it eventually would kill those leagues and those clubs. So the English government stepped in, and the Prime Minister came out on Monday and he said, listen, to these 6 teams in England who have decided to break away, if you continue along this path, we will not grant work permits to your players that you're trying to buy to bring in. I'm telling you right now, that is huge, huge news. And I guarantee that, along with the fans' protests that happened outside of a lot of the stadiums, Chelsea supporters had a big sit-down protest before the game that happened this week. Liverpool were protesting. There were protests all over the place about this. I guarantee the government's news and the protests really forced those 6 English clubs to take a look at themselves. And they retracted, and they jumped out, and they said, we're not going to be joining this Super League. Great. Thank you for sticking with where you're at. But now, what happens to these teams? They signed contracts to jump into a closed Super League and almost ruin the sport. They need to be punished. Okay? I'll give you an example. Teams in England, when owners can't pay their players, or they do something, or the owners do something wrong, they go into administration, they're deducted points. Right? So, for example, Leeds a couple years ago couldn't pay their players. They were mismanaged. The owner couldn't pay the staff. They were deducted points. They went into administration and they deducted points from the league. That needs to happen to these 6 teams. I don't care that they are the 6 biggest teams or think they're the 6 biggest teams. I think it either needs to happen now or they start off next season, the 21-22 season, deducted points. 10 points, 20 points. I'm not sure, but something needs to happen. Also, if you really think about it, these clubs, all 12 of them, had a signed contract with this European Super League. We'll take Liverpool, for instance. Liverpool are majority owned by one person, John Henry, but there are other investors that had to go along with this. I'll throw a name out there. LeBron James, he's an investor. He's a part owner in Liverpool. I'm pretty sure he was consulted on this. The investors were consulted. They all thought this is a good idea. There are going to be lawsuits that now come along with this. Oh, and Man United, they're traded on the stock exchange, right? So they had to put out some notices about this, and their shares jumped when this news broke and then fell. People lost money on this. There will be lawsuits coming. I don't care about the lawsuits and that side of things. I personally care about the playing aspect. Again, the ramifications, the punishment for these clubs needs to be heavy. This can't happen again. If UEFA and FIFA, if they don't put their foot down on this, this will happen again. And please, I do want to let you know, this is not the first time a Super League has been proposed. It's reared its head before, but this is the first time clubs had signed contracts to join this Super League and really put out a notice to break away. So punishments need to be swift and they need to be heavy to make sure this doesn't happen again. FIFA, please step in. Along the UEFA and FIFA note, just so we're all clear, FIFA is the governing body of all football in the world. UEFA is the governing body of European soccer and football. So just so you guys are clear what the difference is, right? They're kind of one and the same, but UEFA specifically governs Europe, the European soccer. UEFA stepped in pretty swiftly on Sunday night and Monday morning when this news broke. and tried to levy things against, saying, listen, if you break away, you're going to be dropped from the Champions League this year. You're going to be fine, whatever. And that really did help the 9 of the 12 clubs retract that and take a step back and say we're going to drop from the Super League. So thank you, UEFA. Thank you, FIFA. You did a good job. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard me say this before. I did a mini show this past week explaining this. I was on the Woodward Sports Morning Show this past week explaining this. FIFA, you deserve a pat on the back. One pat on the back. Besides that, FIFA and UEFA have been terrible, absolutely terrible in their existence, right? For decades now, they've mismanaged soccer. They have single-handedly almost ruined our sport several times. Two examples right off the bat. Qatar World Cup. How does Qatar get a World Cup? Money. Money. Money was paid under the table to the FIFA executives who voted on where the World Cup goes. They were all paid for their votes. FIFA knew about it. Everybody in FIFA knew about it, but they didn't stop it because they all wanted to line their own pockets. Second, racism in soccer. It's still running rampant. FIFA could very quickly step in and do something about it. Giving a player a one-game ban, giving a team a ban of playing behind closed doors occasionally, or a $50,000 or $100,000 fine because their fans were chanting racist chants of players. FIFA could step in pretty damn quick and levy heavier fines against those teams, players, and fans. I know if chants were going on at my favorite team's stadium, and I knew that those chants were going on, and my team could be deducted points for it, I would step in and say something. One, because it's morally wrong and you shouldn't chant like that. Anybody in the world can play soccer. And two, I don't want my team deducted points or fined millions upon millions of dollars. FIFA, do a better job. All right? I applaud you for stepping in and dissolving, or help dissolve, this Super League, but you now need to do a better job. Something else that dropped this past week regarding the Super League, well, under the Super League, was the new Champions League format that'll be kicking off in the next year or two. There'll be 4 more games for each team added to the Champions League. This is done again for money. It's just money. The Champions League wants more money, and how do you get more money? Is more games. We are gonna find that the Carabao Cup in England, the FA Cup, the Copa del Rey, those smaller tournaments and cups to those individual countries will get less of a precedence now, right? So we'll take example Man City, Man United. They won't put their A-team players out for those games. All right? So it's a little bit of a shame. I liked the format the Champions League had. Sure, we could have had some tweaks to it, but adding more games, I don't know. We need to delve into that a little bit more. Today's probably not the day for that. Just so you know, that vote did pass. So coming within the next year or two, those extra games and extra teams added to the Champions League is coming. One item that did happen, first thing Monday morning, while we were all running rampant with the news of the European Super League, was Jose Mourinho was sacked at Tottenham. 17 months in charge. This is very strange timing. Monday morning, 6 days before a cup final where Spurs can finally win some silverware. What is Daniel Levy doing? The rumors have been running rampant. Mourinho sacked, along with his entire staff sacked on Monday morning. One of the rumors was that Mourinho didn't want to take his players out for training because he was so opposed against the European Super League that Tottenham had signed up for. I don't know if I believe that. I think there was just a lot of discord between Levy and Mourinho and the way they were running things. I have not been a big fan of Jose Mourinho in any team he's coached, to be honest. They play negative football. They play just park the bus soccer. It's not fun to watch. One of the things he did promise when he got to Tottenham was he would get the best of Harry Kane. I will say that he did do a very good job of that. He got the best of Harry Kane. I think in the 65 games that Mourinho was in charge when Harry Kane was there, Harry Kane had something like 42 goals. He got the best of Harry Kane. But I have no doubt whoever jumps into that seat to fill that space will also get the best out of Harry Kane. Right now, I think Mauricio Sarri is the leading candidate. The rumor is that Tottenham have had contact with him, and he's going to be flying in to do some talks with them. Odds were slashed from 33-1 down to 5-1. Scott Parker from Fulham has also been talked about as jumping into that spot. Let's be honest, whoever gets into that position, it's a short-term position. It's 3 or 4 years at the absolute most. You've got some great players. You got to play good football. But again, your chairman is Daniel Levy. The man is a menace. He runs the club how he wants to run it, and he has the right to do that. He's an owner. I get that. Majority owner, I believe. He can do what he wants with his club, but I'm sorry, Tottenham fans. You're in a beautiful stadium. You've got great players. You have the chance to go out and buy better players. You're in London. A lot of players love to go play in London. You've underperformed for years. This is a crucial hire with the current crop of players you have. If you don't get this, if Daniel Levy does not get this hire correct, right, could Harry Kane will be wasted. Heung-min Son will be wasted. It's crucial for you guys. So, I also want to say something. Tottenham have been Tottenham supporters. You've taken a lot of flack this week because your team decided to join that European Super League. What has Tottenham done to deserve a spot in the European Super League? No, exactly, nothing. There was dead silence. Nothing. They've done nothing, right? They've gotten into the Europa. They got into the Champions League final 2 years ago. Yay! You didn't win it. You haven't done anything. I mean, it's bizarre. The only reason they were asked to be in the European Super League is because of their chairman, Daniel Levy. I absolutely 100% believe that. Okay? So, last thing, we'll touch on this European Super League a little bit more. It took 72 hours for it to come about and then die. Again, not completely die. It's on pause, according to Perez. But those 14 English Premier League teams and those supporters who were saying that their club would never jump into the European Super League, you're telling me the owners of your team, businessmen who want to make money from these teams, your clubs, wouldn't have jumped in? If you think you're holier than thou, you're very wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some clubs and owners who said no, would say no, I'm sure, right off the bat. Right off the bat, no. Some clubs, I have no doubt, their owners would have said yes. Right? West Ham United, you're owned by guys who sell porn. So now there's nothing wrong with making a living and making a business, but they sell porn. And if the European Super League had come to them and said, hey, West Ham, would you like to be in a closed league for 23 years and earn 300+ million every year and never get relegated out of that league? What do you think they would have said? Yep, exactly. So, so don't think your club is holier than thou because you weren't in the Super League. The 3 clubs that we do know that said no to this, PSG, Borussia Dortmund, and Bayern Munich. I hold my hand up and say congratulations. That is, PSG, I would not have thought would have said no to this, but they did. Congrats. Very big kudos to them. Very, very cool. If we could, Adam, go ahead. I this week had an interview with Paddy Miller, former semi-pro soccer player in England, and works for a media company in England. And he's been keeping on top of this European Super League when it broke. And he said it was on the news round the clock in England. I did a quick interview with him. We'll show you a 4-minute snippet right now, if we could, Adam. All right, I'd like to welcome Paddy Miller all the way from England to We Are Soccer. Paddy has played soccer in England professionally, and he's been living through what's going on over there. So, Paddy, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, Craig. Cheers for having me on.
Appreciate it. So, let's talk about the European Super League. Obviously, you're in England at the moment. How is it over there? What's going on? What can you tell us?
To put it briefly, it's crazy. To be fair. I think you'll have seen, obviously, a lot of it on TV with Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher and people like that kind of spearheading it when it got announced. But the supporters have not taken it well at all. And it isn't just the supporters of the 6 clubs involved here. I think it's everyone. I think everyone kind of put rivalries aside. I've seen Liverpool fans down at Ellen Road, for example, and things like that. And I think it was sort of thing as rivalries don't really matter. It was more of a football community to try and keep the pyramid intact. I think it's one of those things. If it went ahead, it would affect the entire football pyramid here in England, not just the Premier League, but it affects all the money that filters down to the League One, League Two, even into non-league.
Right.
And I think it just showed how passionate everyone was. I know there's been protests at Tottenham this morning. Manchester United supporters have kind of stormed the training ground by all accounts that on TalkSport. Personally, I don't think that's the right way to go about it in terms of storming the training ground. I think if you want to make your voice known, do it in a positive way, a peaceful way outside the stadium. But storming training grounds, effectively, it's not the management's fault. It's not the players' fault. I think if you spoke to 99% of players, they don't want it to happen.
Right.
So for me, that's probably not the best way to go about it. But yeah, a lot of people are happy. I know that a lot of people, when kind of the 6 clubs pulled out one by one, I think obviously the Chelsea supporters before the Brighton game, they kind of blocked the coaches getting in and that sort of thing, and sat down in the streets. And they were kind of the first club to say they weren't going to do it. And then one by one, everyone pulled out from a domino effect, didn't they?
Yep, exactly. And 2 things I want to hit on there. One, you're right. This is the first thing I've ever seen that all the supporters have come together from all the different clubs, right? We usually against each other, but for once, the football world, the soccer world came together and decided that this isn't a good idea and it needs to stop. And it was pretty quick too. I would say from what I've seen, 99.9% of the soccer world came together and said, we're protesting this and we're saying this isn't good. So that was good to see. 2, the second item you mentioned, you may need to do a little bit of explaining if you could, because over here in America, we have closed leagues, right? Like the football league, yeah. the NBA and the NFL and even the baseball. There's no promotion and relegation. So people over here don't quite understand what's going on with that. Can you explain to us how the money would have been affected as the pyramid working its way down, just briefly?
Yeah, so obviously the way it works is obviously the revenue that the Premier League get, they've got a commitment to filter money down based on revenue down to grassroots football, which we class as amateur, non-league, and then it gradually works its way down. So the less money there is at the top of the pyramid, i.e. the Premier League, that filters right down. So there'd be less money for everyone. And at the end of the day, a lot of clubs would go bust. They rely on this sort of money coming through. But here in England, primarily the big issue was the integrity of the football league here. In England, we have a system where it's earned. So whether you win the league below, you get promoted, you get relegated. That's the way it works. If you're the worst performing team, effectively, it gives people hope that the team can be, like, let's be honest, are we going to see Leeds or Aston Villa win the Premier League in the next couple of years? Probably not. Yeah. But at the start of every season, you can have a dream, can't you? Look at Leicester City a few years ago. I think it got to a stage where everyone who wasn't a top 3.
So I want to thank Paddy for joining me this past week in an interview. You can see the rest of that interview. We'll post that later today up on the We Are Soccer Facebook page, YouTube channel, and the other social channels we have. Very interesting. We go a little further. We talk about Leeds, their downfall and then the rise and how they're going and what they need to do next season to get a little bit better. So go ahead and give that a little watch later today once it's posted. So thank you again, Paddy. All right. This past week also, we had Detroit City FC, who's playing in the Legends tournament, Legends Cup, down in Chattanooga, Tennessee. They were in the semifinal Thursday. They won 1-0 on a goal from captain Steve Carroll. The goal happened right before halftime. Beautiful header. He, came off a corner. He gets up, out jumps his defender, does an absolutely phenomenal job getting his head on it, placing it, heading the ball downwards. Just absolutely stunning. Love it, love it, love it. Power right there. All right, that's the captain, Steve Carroll, leading the charge. DCFC took this game. This is my favorite angle right here. Defender's got no chance. Goalie's got no chance. Great header. Well done, Steve. Steve Carroll got man of the match from the goal, but also because he played really well in front of Nate Steinwasser, the DCFC goalie, who had another great game. I'm telling you right now, the DCFC goalie, he's worth the price of a ticket and admission alone. He is fun to watch. He is playing mid-season form right now, and we're only 2 or 3 games into the season. So good things to come from him. Hopefully these boys can stay healthy. Also, you can now watch DCFC on TV. One of the only streaming soccer in the country in NAISL. So, MyTV20, WB20, in Detroit, you can watch them live. Next Saturday, 1 week from today, DCFC will be opening up against, I believe it's the Maryland Bobcats, 7 o'clock Saturday night from Keyworth Stadium. We will be there. We are soccer. We're going to be doing a pregame and postgame, so join us and then jump over on your TV and watch, because again, you can watch on TV, MyTV20, all right? So should be a great year for DCFC. They are coming along. You can tell the style of soccer they're playing. It's exciting. They're controlling the ball, getting the ball forward, flooding forward, doing a really nice job. There's going to be goals to be scored this year. At the moment, I believe the stadium's only open to 20% due to COVID pandemic, but as we go along, I have no doubt games will get opened up more and more fans will be able to attend. You can win tickets to those games on our show. We've given away prize packs in every single show previous, and today is no different. So why don't we talk about last week's winner? Last week's winner, he wins 2 tickets to a DCFC game along with a scarf for answering and sharing the show, We Are Soccer, on Facebook. The winner is Steven Aversa. Congrats, Steven. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for answering. Appreciate the support. You want to win some tickets? All you got to do is answer this question. All right, 2 tickets to an upcoming DCFC game and a scarf. The question is, what is DCFC's home stadium called? What's the name of the stadium they play in? Throw that in the comments on our social channels, and then be sure to share the show, and you'll be entered to win. I'll reveal that the winner next week. All right, guys. So I know you've heard me talk a lot about the youth soccer here in Michigan. We have some absolutely stunning players in the youth levels here. We have throughout the years. You've heard us talk about Detroit soccer legends growing up and the teams they played for, and going off and playing for the under 17s, under 18s, U23s. We have some more players that are currently being called up to the U.S. teams. I don't know if you guys understand how big these call-ups are for these kids who work day in and day out. It's phenomenal. I've watched some of these kids play. It's just incredible, the call-ups they're getting and the skills they have. I mentioned earlier, I want to mention it again, Michigan Jaguars player Haley Craig has been called up to the U.S. Women's National Team U19 virtual camp. If it wasn't pandemic COVID time, she would be in the full camp. And the U19s, that's a huge call up right there. So big congrats to her. Just so fun to watch play. Good player. she's also committed to Stanford. So congrats, Haley. That's no small school, and that's a big program. So we have no doubt you will go on and do much more, and we'll keep our eyes on you and expect to see you for the full women's national team in the coming years. All right. I wanna kind of chat about Aaron Bird and Next Level Training. A lot of these youth players, they all know who Aaron is. They've all been to his camps. They've all been to his training sessions he does. He'll have camps coming up this year in the summer. We'll have links on our social channels for Aaron. So go ahead and sign up because spots fill up fast. All right. He has some of the pros he trains come out and help, and they do demos. So you're not going to want to miss that. If you guys have kids who are in youth soccer, get them out to one of Aaron's camps. He's got several camps throughout the summer. Trust me, it's well worth it. I'm going to be making a stop by a lot of these camps. One, because I want to improve my skills, and I know Aaron can help me. But two, I want to see a lot of the kids out there. I want to talk to a lot of the kids and a lot of the parents, and I want to get some interviews with some of those pros because they got some big names. Adam, behind the scenes, our lovely producer here, if you could you throw up the Aaron Bird quick training session? So kids, this is about a 3-minute clip of Aaron with some drills for you to improve your soccer skills and your footwork. Go ahead and give it a watch.
Hey guys, Aaron Bird, Next Level Training. Another at-home quick 10-minute workout for you. 5 quick exercises, guys. And those of you that have been following along for this We Are Soccer, the last couple weeks, this is going to be the most challenging one. Very challenging body control, body mechanics, awareness, the way you move that ball. This is going to be a difficult one, so have fun with it, challenge yourself. You got 5 different ones. I want you to, a minute at each station, twice through. A minute, hard. Second minute, see if you can get better at it. See how it looks. First one, guys. Here. 1, 2 big yards away. 5 exercises. First one, guys. 2 quick rolls. 1, 2. Catch with that left. Nice base. 1, 2. Catch. 1, 2. Catch. 1, 2. Catch. Can your eyes stay high so you're not down at the ball? Eyes stay high. Manipulate that ball. Second one, guys, very difficult. Hardest one we've done here. Same, 1, 2, left foot's gonna touch pass, catch with my right, pull, touch through the middle, turn, cut. Body turns many different ways. 1, 2, touch, catch, touch through, touch, chop, ball sits. 1, 2, touch, catch, pull, touch, chop. 1, 2, touch, catch, touch. Very difficult. That's the second one. Third one on the left. 1, 2, touch, catch, pull, turn your hips, touch, chop. 1, 2, touch, catch, touch through. Very difficult, guys. Body, hips, ball got to work together. Fourth one. Another very difficult one. Pull right, settle left. Nice base. Right scissor, push, turn my hips, catch, rip all the way back to where I started. Pull, settle, scissor, push, pull, settle, pull, settle, scissor, push. Last one. Left, right, left, push, pull, settle, boom, boom. Everything works together, guys. Ball, body, eyes all work together. Get a base, get comfortable with the ball at your feet. Be loose, be ready to move. Have fun getting better with the ball, guys. Tough patterns, get your brain to tell the body what to do. Aaron Bird, Next Level Training. Follow us on any of our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we got them all. Go check it out. Let's keep working, guys.
Thank you, Aaron Bird. Appreciate it. Aaron's a good friend of mine. If you don't remember, he was a co-host on the show a couple of weeks back. I worked with Aaron quite a bit. He, man, hell of a trainer. That dude knows his soccer, knows his drills. Again, If you're looking this summer to get into a camp, that's my recommendation, right? Dude will make your kids a better soccer player. Speaking of good youth soccer players, we're going to roll 2 clips right now. First one is Alex Gimple of the Michigan Jags. Watch this kid play, man. He's from 2008 MLS Next team for the Jags. The goals we're showcasing here, he hits one with his left foot and he hits one with his right foot. This kid can play, man. He's got some fun clips up on Twitter. This kid is a stud, and if he continues his rise, it's going to be fun to see where he goes. He'll have some clips. He'll have some more clips. This young lady, watch this, bang! This young lady, her father was Mr. Soccer back in 1994 in Michigan, Travis Roy. This is his daughter, Morgan Roy. She is one of the most highly rated players in the state of Michigan at the moment. And I can tell you, I've seen her play. I've seen her train. She takes this seriously. She is a great player. Very, very highly regarded. I have no doubt, if I could bet right now, I would put money on her playing for the U.S. national team, full team, in a couple of years. Good player. Solid family as well, the Roys. So big shout out to them. I have no doubt Aaron Bird at Next Level Training teaches those type of skills. So jump into his camps, guys. All right, let's talk a little bit about World Soccer. Some of the upcoming games here. Pretty shortly here, we're going to have a call from the delusional Man United fan. He's got a lot to say. His chairman this week, Manchester United chairman Ed Woodward, stepped down. Rumors are flying about why, what happened there. Ed Woodward has come out and said he is stepping down because he didn't agree with the European Super League. And I think he stepped down on Wednesday, was it? I don't know if that's completely true, but lots of rumors are flying. We're never going to know behind the scenes really what happened, if it was really what happened. All right, so we have our delusional Man United fan coming shortly, so give us a second. Apparently he's having trouble calling in. We're gonna push off the Man United fan for a few seconds here. I want to talk about some games that are happening this weekend to keep your eye on in the EPL. Now, there are several games happening, but I've picked 3 or 4 here for you guys to jump in on. Newcastle Liverpool happening right now. You might be watching that alongside happening. Chelsea West Ham from the London Stadium. Big game there. Both teams fighting for 4th. Big game. That should be fun. Moyes has West Ham playing really well, scoring goals. Chelsea, I do not like the way they play. If anything, they'll win 1-0. Man United visit Ellen Road against Leeds. This will be a fun game. Leeds, 50 goals given up this year, 50 goals scored. It'll be a fun one to watch. There'll be goals for sure in that game. And then West Brom visit Villa Park. West Brom fighting for their lives. Villa they're not going to get relegated. They're not going to jump into the Euro, Champions League or Europa League. So nothing to play for. Jack Grealish still injured. Boring game. All right, I believe we have our delusional Man United fan on the line. Why don't we jump in and we'll jump in and talk to him. Delusional Man United fan, are you there?
Good morning, Craig. How are you doing today?
Can't seem to hear you, probably because I'm not plugged in. All right, give me 1 second, delusional Man United fan. Continue going with, continue thinking about how great your team is. All right, you there, delusional Man United fan? He must be off. You there?
Can you hear me now?
There I can. What were you busy thinking about your team's trip to Ellen Road? Is that what you were doing?
Well, yeah. Between that and walking with the Glazer out signs everywhere,
Oh, all
Stay
right.
in the life.
Yeah, so you're not a big fan of the Glazers. You want them out, correct?
Oh yeah, they're not good. I mean, we need a real rich owner. Owners with money, so we can continue to keep winning. Whether it's the Super League or the updated Champions League
the updated
fund,
Champions League,
where we don't even have to qualify anymore for Champions League. So we'll just ride the glories of all our past victories.
Oh,
be a part of Champions League. You don't even have to finish second anymore first.
This is true. Does it pain you to know that you're finishing behind your arch rivals, Man City?
It always does. But I'm still holding on to the fact that when City won the league from us in the last second, they were also 8 points behind with 6 games left. So I'm really still holding on to that.
I think you need to give up
hope.
hope.
That the villains didn't help us the other day. They tried to, got my hopes up, but I'm hoping for Spurs. Someone's going to beat them, and we're going to keep winning. So.
All right.
Best team in the Premier League right now. Best team probably in the world right now, the way we're playing.
Well, you are playing very well. I'll give you that. So why don't you tell me, what do you think the outcome's going to be when Man United visit Leeds? Will there be a lot of goals? Will there be a lot of what are you thinking here?
Oh, well,
it's a tough game.
Well, with Maguire and Lindelof in the middle of the park against this high-flying Leeds offense, we're going to give up a goal, but we're going to score probably twice as many as them. Wow. I predict a Bamford goal, of course, and then United's going to score 4.
So you're predicting 4-1 Bamford to score for Leeds, and who are we putting on the? We think Pogba, Fernandez. Who's going to score the goal? Cavani. He's been in great form, right?
All the above. I got a Pogba assist, a Greenwood goal, and I only hope that they rest Rashford because that guy is never going to be able to play in Euros. He's never going to play anywhere because we're riding to the ground.
This is true. Well. Spoken like a true Man United delusional fan there, my friend. And I do want to break it to you, but I don't know. You're not finishing first. Man City have pretty much got the league locked up. You might get a few points closer, but I'm sorry, it's over. So just start focusing on that Europa League.
Oh, the trophy's already in the case, buddy.
I love it. All right. Well, delusional Man United fan, really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be talking to you again soon, possibly in the next week or two.
Sounds good.
All right.
Take care, buddy.
Take care. As you can tell, a typical Man United fan there. Still thinks he has a chance at winning the league. Thinks his team's going to win 4-1 this weekend. You all know Man United fans. If you're not a Man United fan yourself, I'm sorry, but you guys are delusional. You're riding the history, the coattails of your history. I would be amiss if I didn't say one thing about Manchester United. The new European Super League that they joined, the Glazers and Ed Woodward, whether Woodward was in on it or out on it, whatever, that Man United jumped into. I'm sorry, but maybe you forgot about the Busby Babes and the crash of 1958, right? Those players were flying. That plane crashed because they were in Champions League games. Well, at the time, it wasn't Champions League; it was a European championship, right? So, I mean, those players, Matt Busby, they've got to be rolling in the grave when they saw Man United jump into that league. I'm sorry, that's terrible. Absolutely terrible for Manchester United, and I expected better. I expected better from them. I expected better from a lot of the teams. But that just goes to show, as delusional Man United fan said, it's the Glazers. They're the problem. They bought that club, and they were instantly over £500 million in debt. They're still in debt. I think it's to the tune of just under £250 million. They're still in debt. So, of course, they wanted to jump into a closed Super League for 23 years and get $300 million every year. Of course they did. Money. They didn't care about their youth. They didn't care about the other teams. Poor again from all those squads, those clubs. Again, we could talk about closed European Super League with no relegation all day long. Let's jump away from that. We're going to be having our Bundesliga expert call in here soon. Lots of Bundesliga games on tap, by the way. Lots of notes coming out this week, lots of news and notes coming out this week about things in the Bundesliga. Again, we mentioned it earlier, I'll mention it again. Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund didn't opt into the European Super League. Big pat on the back for them. The news again that we've all been talking about for a few months now. Where's Erling Haaland going to go in the summer? Is he going to jump to Man City or Man United? Jadon Sancho, is he going to be jumping away? Lots of things to talk about. Specifically, I believe we're going to talk about some games, 2 or 3 games to watch this weekend on tap. And I believe we have our Bundesliga expert here on the line with us. Let's jump in. Are you there, Bundesliga expert?
Hey, Greg, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thanks for joining. How are you, buddy?
Oh, wow. I figured it out.
Yeah, first time.
First time for everything, yeah.
All
Man,
right.
You're more fired up today than a group of Schalke fans waiting for their team to get off the bus.
Oh, I love that reference. Yeah, so let's talk about that. Obviously, we know fans in Europe, they are super, super into their teams. They're ultra fans, right? But and when teams get relegated, fans go nuts. But waiting for the team to arrive back at the stadium and then attacking them, pelting with eggs, punching them, and kicking the players and the staff, that's kind of crossing the line, right?
Well,
it's a little...
and it's even worse than that because apparently some of these guys didn't even return home because they were being followed by fans. Apparently some of the reports were they never actually, some of the players never made it home. They kind of ditched out early because they were being followed.
Jeez.
So, yeah, it's not a good look. It's real sad. The real sad thing about it is it doesn't represent the Schalke fans at all because, you know, you're talking about one of the largest clubs in Germany fan-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I think over 160,000 members. You're talking about 100 people. And now they're contemplating not even finishing the season, just calling it off.
I'd heard
and it's kind of sad it's kind of sad that it resulted in that. I mean, and some of this, and I'm not trying to excuse anything or blame anything. Trust me, there's no excuse for it. I was in Germany when Stuttgart got relegated. I was at that game, and the players walked right out to the supporters section, and the supporters let them have it, you know, in a controlled environment.
Sure.
And a lot of people are saying, a lot of reports are like, well, this is because there was no fans in the stadium. This is, you know, and again, not to excuse it, not to pass blame, but is all this pent-up frustration just overboiled within the situation, and they had it. And Schalke is in massive trouble. They're over about 200 million euros in debt before being relegated.
Wow.
So they're in big trouble financially. They've struggled for years. And a lot of this is you have a lot of passionate fans. 30 years they've been, you know, in League One, and they're very tired of how it's being run, and you know the reports of the debt and everything like that leading into it, and it just frustration boiled over, and it's sad because it doesn't represent the German fans at all. It's a small group.
Understood.
You know, I've been to many games, and this stuff doesn't happen normally.
Okay.
So it is a shame.
Understood. All right, let's jump in and chat about the games. Specifically, 3 games you've noted for us for fans to watch this weekend. What are those games, and why should they watch?
Dortmund versus Wolfsburg. Sorry, I blanked out there. Number 3 versus number 5. Dortmund, as you know, is fighting for their life. They got to win out.
Yep.
Wolfsburg is holding on. They're the team ahead. They're only 4 points separate each other. More importantly, Weghorst versus Haaland. 2 in-form strikers that are lighting up. I know everyone knows who Haaland is. Unless you've been paying attention that much, you probably might not know who Weghorst is. Netherlands player.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. Very, very athletic. Scores some amazing goals out of nowhere. That's at 9:30 on ESPN Plus. Wolfsburg has not drawn the last 10 times they played, so there should be a winner between those two. I'm hoping there will be. I think it's going to be exciting. Both teams going at each other.
All right, love it.
Then you got Leverkusen versus Frankfurt. Frankfurt is, again, holding on. You have 4 versus 6. Frankfurt sitting 6.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to make the Champions League, first time ever. Leverkusen's trying to break in. So both teams will be coming at each other really, really hard. Again, a lot on that game. And, you know, you have one of my – actually, I love the guy that plays on Leverkusen, Leon Bailey. Always pulls out some fantastic stuff. He had 2 goals and assists last game. He's coming in hot.
All right, that sounds like a good one. Yep.
On the lesser-known scale, Gladbach versus Bielefeld. And everyone's going, what is that?
Yeah, why is that game important? Tell us.
Battlefield is struggling to stay afloat. Hertha Berlin, if you followed some of my posts, they are on quarantine right now because of COVID, so they can't play for 3 games. Battlefield needs to create distance or they're going to get relegated. So they're fighting like hell, and they are actually pretty hot because they haven't lost in the last 5 matches. So they have a tendency to kind of get stuck in and pull a draw. Gladbach trying to get back into Europa. So again, 2 teams fighting it out. Lots to go on. I know it's not for a trophy, but for these teams to not get relegated or get promoted, financial huge impact there, and they come out flying. Some of the Cologne games, they've been, you know, just an example, Cologne's been really turning it around and has been winning a bunch of games because they're fighting to stay afloat as well.
Great,
so
great.
This is where it gets really exciting at the end of the year.
Absolutely. I like to call this the business end of the season, right? So this is where it gets very serious, right? All right, well, 3 great games for us to watch this weekend from the Bundesliga. Lots of news there. Really appreciate the call, and we'll have to do it again next week.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.
All right, as you can tell, lots of good games in the Bundesliga. I don't know if a lot of you guys are watching the Bundesliga, but it's on ESPN and ESPN Plus, a lot of those games. I highly recommend watching Bundesliga games. We all know about English Premier League, right? One of the best leagues in the world is the Premiership, but quickly following on the heels is the Bundesliga. They have been producing young talent for years now, and the level is getting so much better. Highly recommend watching Bundesliga games, and it's easily accessible on ESPN. All right, so lots of soccer, lots of news. We haven't even touched on some of the biggest stories that's come up other than Mourinho, Super League, and some of the games. We've only got a couple minutes left, so I want to just give a few thoughts on some of the other news stories that have come out this week. So news and notes sponsored by Superior Family Dental. They're my dentists. They're my kids' dentists. Visit them, superiorfamilydental.com. 2 office locations, Milford, Farmington Hills, and the official dentist of the Detroit Red Wings. Tell them Craig from We Are Soccer sent you, all right? So you visit Dr. Jeff and Dr. Randy, and yeah, they'll take care of you. Good friends of mine. All right. So Barcelona, we know, jumped into the European Super League. They have not formally dropped out yet, because I still believe them and Real Madrid are the 2 main players that are driving this. So, but it is currently on pause. Obviously, as we've said, and you've heard us say many times today, it's all because of money. Barcelona over $1 million in debt, but they're preparing a new 3-year contract for Lionel Messi. So you got to keep a hold of your best player, but if you're in debt, I don't know, they may want to sell him. They may want to do something, but I don't know. He's still one of the best players in the world. He's still playing at a high level, still scoring goals. Great player. Can you afford to sign him for another 3 years and keep going into debt like that? I don't know. That's we'll see. News has come out in the last couple of days that Ryan Giggs, former Man United star, has been charged with assaulting 2 women. An incident that stems back to November. Not a good look for Ryan Giggs. Yeah, he's had some issues before, not quite to this level, but just not a good issue. Not a good look for him. Other news this week that's come out: LA Galaxy and U.S. men's national team player Sebastian Lletget receives a 2-match ban for using an anti-gay slur online. I mentioned this earlier about racism, FIFA, UEFA slapping wrists over that stuff. I don't know if this, I'm not sure if this 2-match ban was handed down by MLS or FIFA. I believe it's MLS. they could do more. He used an anti-gay slur. I believe it was on his Twitter account or in a small video. Do better, MLS. You can fine him. You can ban him from more games. This will stop it from happening. Put your foot down, man. Make it so that these guys can't do this. Okay? Be better on your punishments for this, please. News has also came out yesterday that Spotify CEO is keeping an eye on the Arsenal situation as he'd like to purchase Arsenal away from Stan Kroenke. I don't know if Stan Kroenke and his team and his family are going to be selling Arsenal anytime soon. He's in a lot of hot water, obviously, with the fans over there. There's massive protests going on and asking for him to sell the team. But if he does go to sell, there are consortiums that are getting together trying to eye that up and throw their hat in the ring. I wouldn't have guessed the Spotify CEO would have enough money to purchase Arsenal and everything that goes along with it. But again, I don't know what these people earn, so he must have billions in the bank to do that. I will tell you right now, it takes billions and billions of dollars to purchase a soccer club, especially one as such high profile as Arsenal. And along with purchasing them, then you have to put money into the club, and you have to fund new players, and you have to fund the purchase of players and new staff and whatever goes along with it. So it's not an easy task. I expect Arsenal, if Kroenke and his family sell, it'll be £1 billion plus for the sale of that club. Massive, massive club. Just quickly, I've been trying to mention this for a couple of weeks and haven't been able to fit it in, but I kind of want to do that now if I can. Some soccer shows and podcasts, some soccer books for you guys to read. Obviously on the We Are Soccer channels, we've got a lot of little video clips, the training clips you guys can watch. Aaron Bird's been helping with those. I do a few of them. So go ahead and give those a watch if you're looking to get better at soccer, looking to get your kids better at soccer. Some quick training drills there. But one of my favorite podcasts to listen to is That Peter Crouch podcast. I don't know if you guys remember who Peter Crouch was. England national team player, played for Liverpool, played for Aston Villa, played for Southampton, Portsmouth. 6'6", did the robot when he scored? No? Yeah? Great podcast. Super, super good podcast. Give it a listen. Find it on iTunes and other where all of your podcasts can be found. Season 2 of Ted Lasso has been started filming, I believe. I think they've signed up for Season 2 and Season 3. So midsummer, we can expect Season 2 to drop. Really looking forward to that. Season 1 blew me away. Such a good show. Give it a watch. It's on Apple TV. A book I highly recommend everybody reading. 1967 Tottenham Hotspur team were followed by a reporter who wrote a book called The Glory Game. If you're a Tottenham fan, this week and next week you may want to hide away with all the everything that's been going on. Put your nose into a book, The Glory Game. Highly recommended. I've read it several times. Very, very interesting book if you're a Tottenham fan. On Netflix, Sunderland Till I Die, another good show for you guys to watch. It can really show how a team can drop down the levels, the tiers of English soccer, and what it takes to win. And I love the behind the scenes. And it also shows how deals get done, how loans get done, and the transactions of players and with other teams. Very interesting. So those are just 2 or 3 of the things that I've enjoyed over the last last year or two. Highly recommend those. One last thing before I finish up, I wanted to mention today, and I got to do a little research on this for you guys, but if Chelsea had opted in and had continued with the European Super League, they would not have been able to play at Stamford Bridge. Do you know why? Because Roman Abramovich, the owner of Chelsea and Chelsea Football Club, do not actually own the pitch. They don't own the field at Stamford Bridge. That's owned by the supporters. So the supporters came out on Monday morning and said, if you, Chelsea Football Club, play in the European Super League, we're not going to let you play on the pitch. So you'll have to go find another stadium to play at. That blew me away. I got to look into how that came about. How do the supporters own the pitch? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All right, so that's another wrap on We Are Soccer. Really appreciate you guys joining us. I want to say some thank yous real quick. Adam behind the scenes at Woodward Sports does a wonderful job. All the graphics he pulls up. He's got a team that help him as well. Woodward Sports. Download their app. You can watch We Are Soccer on the app. You can watch their morning show and all the other shows they do. Love Woodward Sports, man. I tune in every single day. Also, big thank you to our sponsors, Detroit City FC, Michigan Jaguars, Tim Merritt with Ross Mortgage, Next Level Training, and Superior Family Dental. Big thank you to our sponsors there. Do me a favor, visit their websites, give them a call if you have a need for any of their services. I can vouch for every single one of those people and those services they provide. Good people. Tell them we sent you. Really appreciate the support, guys. Also, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Jim, Steve, Matt, and the Airlift team. Appreciate you, boys. Let me sit in your office. I sit in their office and work on my show and get some stuff done. So big thank you to those guys. And do me a favor, jump onto the We Are Soccer social channels. We got Facebook, we got YouTube, we got Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and a Twitch. Go ahead and jump on, give those a follow. Really appreciate it. If you got any questions, throw them into the comments. We have a Facebook group. We have some great discussions. Jump on there. News every day we break on there, and we have great discussions with all soccer fans from around the world. Again, the Patty Miller interview will be live later this afternoon, so give that a watch. Very interesting. And yeah, again, thanks for watching We Are Soccer. I appreciate the support, guys. And until next week, cheers.